Hi everyone, it's Gina. Welcome to my channel and welcome to all of the new subscribers. I've recently had an influx of new subscribers and that is so exciting, and I'm so glad to have you with me and join me today. So here's what I've been working on. This tiered or stacked album. There's probably another name for it and I can't think of what it is. But I really love how it looks with the, just kind of the way it works and flips through. And it looks like it would be complicated to make, but it is not. So if you are a beginner crafter, hang in there and let me show you how you can make this, because it is really, really easy to do. Before we get started, I wanted to just show you these ones real quick. So on this page, I've got a pocket, and I have not yet decorated here. And I have a belly band that goes across and decorated this side with a sticker. And this has a pocket on the side, which this is my favorite one. I love how that turned out. So I've got a couple little pieces in here. And I have not yet decorated this side. And I have a belly band going this way. And this one does have some decorations on it. And on the back, I have a tag, a big chunky tag, and some writing space. So this was the first one that I made. Now, with some of the scraps left over from some other paper that I had, I wanted to make it this way because you can have it angle and flip this way. It doesn't have to be just from the side. You can set it up to flip this way. So I kind of wanted to have one geared toward this direction, and I just got it put together with the decorative paper, and I wanted to go ahead and get the video recorded. I just didn't want to wait before I decorated it, so I just have this one put together. But that's also to show you that it can be, in a variety of sizes. The one we'll make today is going to be like this. So without further ado, let's get started. All you need to make the base for this project is 4 pieces of paper cut at 4.5 by 8.5. And that's all you need, and you can build this cute little album, and then you are free to decorate it however you like. Let me show you how that's done. So all I did was I took my paper and I folded it over and left about 1/2 inch from the top. I didn't measure, I didn't worry about it, I just kind of eyeballed it. Okay, I kept this one just beside me and I just kind of eyeballed it to see if they were about the same. If you want to measure, feel free, but otherwise just, you can eyeball it. It'll turn out, don't worry. So you just line them up and make sure that they look pretty close to the same and you're good to go. Let me fold these other 2. Okay, so they're all folded now. Before I glue them, I'm going to go ahead and ink around them. Now, inking is not something you have to do, of course. It just depends on what your preference is. And we all know I like to ink my edges. So I'm going to ink these and get back to you. Now, if you want to ink the creases here on the inside, which I didn't do on this one, you really ought to now. Well, I did on that one, but once you get back here, you can't flip it over to get to this really well. So this is really the best time to do that. Now you're going to take your pages and with them facing straight up with the short side on top, you're going to turn them to the right. There. Now, the one on the right is going to be the very bottom, and you're going to stack up from there. So I'm going to take and put glue all over this, and I'm going to glue the longer page of this paper on top so that it will look like that. And then you'll keep going. You'll take the next one and do the same thing. You'll put glue on this part and then glue the next piece on top. Remember, you want to keep your short side facing up, and you're going to be always gluing the longer piece in the back. Super easy. So there you go. And they flip around. Now at this point, you can decorate them however you like. For this one, I cut some decorative paper and I cut it just a tiny bit shy of the measurements. They are not the same size. This side measures 4 inches. This side measures 4.5. So for here, you'll need 4 pages that are just shy of 4.5 by 4.5. And I say just shy because you need to have room for it to flip. So you don't want the page you put on top, especially if it's thick paper, you don't want it really crossing that edge. And I will tell you on this one, I didn't do it shy. I was trying to do it the exact size or have it be over and trying to cut, and it was a pain, I'm telling you. You're much better off doing it just under, because you know you can always go back and add more ink to your edges to cover up any space that you may have left out from your paper, you know, where it didn't fit just the way you wanted it. So it's much easier to cut it a little bit smaller than the size of your page than it is to try to make it exact or let it go over and then try to trim it later. Now if you want to add decorative pieces to this side, you'll need 5 pieces of paper cut 4 by 4.5, because this side is about a half inch shorter. Now on this one, I didn't do that. This is just the color of the paper. This was more of a tan, and actually this was even darker. I used 2 different pages, 2 different colored pages. All right, so that's all it took to make the base for this little flip book. Now, since I do want to add some pretty paper, I'm going to have to figure out what paper I want to add. And if you watched my recent haul video, you saw me talk about this paper pad. It's just gorgeous. And I was thinking I would use it, let me back you up. I was thinking I would use it for this project because I just can't wait to use it. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to pick out a couple of pages to work with, and I'll be right back. All right, well that was really hard, but I picked this one, beautiful, and I picked this one. And I may pick one more. I picked this one, and it's mostly because it had this gorgeous bold red. So I'm going to go cut my pages down to the 4.5 by 4.5. I'm undecided if I'm going to actually put decorative paper on this side. Let me do this side first and we'll see where we are. Okay, I got my papers cut and I went ahead and inked around them, and I was playing with the order that I wanted them because, you know, the piece sticks out here, so I kind of wanted to make sure the visual I got from the pages sticking out was pleasing to my eye and, you know, looked and felt right. So this is where I'm going to leave it. So I've got this one here. Now this is the only page I cut that is 4 inches by 4.5, because that's what your front page is. So this is a solid red one. There's this one. And here's the little birdies. I thought they were just so sweet. And then this page. And I like this because I wanted a little bit of that kind of orangey, peachy, orangey color to show out at the edge. So that is what I've got. Now, I just need to glue them down. You want a little bit of time to finagle and get your page where you want it, especially when you're trying to get it centered and you don't have a whole lot of room on the edge. So I probably would not use art glitter glue for this part unless you're just like really good at placing things exactly where you want them the first try. So I'm not, but you do whatever feels comfortable for you. Again, I think I will start in the back. This is Scotch Create. It's permanent glue pen. I've used it a few times. I don't know if I've used it on a video, but you can see I have used it. Don't worry, like if there's a little bit on the edges here, I can trim that at the end. I mostly wanted to pay attention to my crease in the center. I didn't want to go too far over. I wanted to leave a nice little space here and try to make sure that it wasn't too far over on the edges. I probably could have cut these pages a little bit shorter because they are making my job of gluing them on a little more difficult. See, that's really, really close. So it would probably be a good idea if I just took just a sliver off just to make my life easier. I think I decided I'm going to leave it as it is so that it will match my back piece of paper. But for your information, it's good to leave a border. See, I have a pretty good border all the way around this one, and it was just a lot easier to put the page down. It's a little more tricky. It takes a little more finesse, but I'm going to give it a go. All right, I got everything glued on. Did you see that? I put it on the wrong side. Oh, I confused myself. I tried to get it off and I just wiped it with a paper towel first and then used this little, rubber thing. But if you tilted it like in the glare, you could still kind of see. I don't think the page is ruined. I mean, I'm going to keep it and use it for something else, but I already had another piece cut to the same size when I was cutting the paper. So there you go. It's a good idea to have some extra pieces cut. And so I just decided to go ahead and use a fresh piece, and I'll just save that one for later. All right, when I was off camera, I decided to switch to black ink, and I re-inked all the edges. And I think it looks really cool. I decided to do that because there was so much black used, and so many of the papers I use just in general don't have a whole lot of black, so the vintage photo works fine. But with there being so much black, I thought it might look really good, and I think it does. So now that we've got this put together with our pretty paper, we need to do the back. And on the back, I'm going to probably go ahead and add a pocket like I did on this one. I used a circle punch to punch out that little divot. It's like kind of barely there. I think for this next pocket, I'm going to take a bigger bite out of it. Anyway, so I'm going to add a pocket on the back, and I cut a piece of paper and it just fits. Now I just need to add my little notch. And I believe this is a 2-inch circle punch. I'm going to stick that in here, try to get it as even as I can. There we go. That's a much bigger bite. Gotta make sure I don't put it upside down, because that's so something I would do. All right, and I want to go ahead and ink that spot. All right, it's all inked up and it's ready to be glued. And for this, I will use the art glitter glue so I can get right along the very edge. All right. You know, I kind of slid that around a little bit when I was trying to glue it down, so I'm a little worried my glue may have spread, but that's okay. I have a feeling the tag I'm going to put in here probably won't be quite as big, so I think we'll be okay. Now I've got my pocket on. I want to go ahead and decorate these. For this, I just used some scraps, so I'll do the same thing here. Okay, the back is now done. So I'm going to stop right here with this video and leave it for all those people who just really want to know how it's made. And that is pretty much how it's made. Now, if you're interested, the next video should be a follow-up and we can work on decorating and adding our pockets on the inside and maybe some tags and, you know, some fun stuff. But this is going to do it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it and found it informative, and hope you realize that you can make this. You don't have to be a seasoned crafter. Everybody can make this project. So if you enjoyed this video, give me the thumbs up. I really want to thank all of you who have been leaving comments. It is such a big help to my channel. I really thank you. It means a lot and I really appreciate your support. And I'd love to hear what you think of this project. What do you think about the papers or the project itself? Do you feel like you can do it? Have you ever done it before? I'd love to know. All right, well, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.